at the end of the day, as long as I can move, I'm okay. I don't really care about fair play. I care about authentic and real gameplay. Like I said before, even if I lost 10 times in a row, as long as it's authentic, it's good. And I wish there was a way to know if this guy, uh, what he's thinking, but there just is no way unless he comments. And from the way that he carries himself, he just seems super, super toxic. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish I was wrong about that. But these are the types of people that I have to play over and over and over and over again. I do think he's skilled. I don't like that behavior, but I do like him at some. There's something in him that I do like, but I don't like his behavior. I don't like his attitude. I don't like the way he carries himself. But there's something about this guy that I do like. I don't know exactly what it is. I know that's kind of odd to say. It's there's a nuance there, right? There's a nuance there. I wish things were different. I wish the community was more positive. I wish there was better communication. I wish that the game really truly was competitive and the game really truly was supported. It's one thing to support something, but if you get nowhere, what good is that support? A lot of times their support makes things worse, right? A lot of times the game is just worse off. Like right now in the current patch, yes, there is rage quitting penalties. Sorry, there's disconnecting penalties and there's leaving penalties, but the game will actually kick you out or the other person out and give them a penalty when they never left. I know people that have never left a game ever in Naruto Storm games ever, in any Storm game, and now they're getting kicked out of the game because of a glitch or a bug, and then they're getting a disconnection penalty, and they're saying that they're getting caught leaving when they've never left before in a game in their life. And then on top of that, now you're also getting the different button configuration, right? Where some people are reporting that they can't block, or block has been changed from R2 to L1 or R1. Things have been changed around. That glitch is back and it's manifesting differently. And then on top of that, it's not allowing you to do jitsus or even use the chakra button, so you can't chakra dash or you can't jitsu. So there's a lot of new things out where there's no consistency. It's taking away from consistency in the game. And this is actually probably the worst patch ever. And it's a good example of, even if they give you what you want, if they don't implement it properly or in a really good way or in a decent way, right? In a way that's effective, in a way that's consistent, and it's inconsistent instead, then the game ends up being worse. And this is the classic one step forward and two steps back with CyberConnect 2 and with Bandai Namco in the Storm series. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish I could only say good things, but this is what it is. In this video, I'm going to show you some top 500 Minato gameplay in Naruto Storm connections before the patch, or on the second patch, right? So it was 2024 on the second patch, and just before that third patch came out. It's really good stuff. We're fighting this guy that I fought about 20 to 30 times named Sant PW. Now, this guy, me and him have a history. And as you go up in the matches, we're playing between, I think, 28,000 and 31,000. I think I have about 30,800 BP right now, and he's got like 28,000 or something like that. So I'm currently in the top 500 here in the game, in the ranked mode, and we're playing this guy. So he's going to do really well here in the first round. We're going to watch two fights. The second fight is really interesting. You're going to see me do something that you don't think that I would do, but I actually did, even though it's a ranked fight. I think you're going to be very, very interested in that, and I want to know your opinion on this thing, which is, should you wait for someone in a ranked fight or not? And be honest about it. Like, do you actually, should you do it, and do you actually do it or not? So here you can see he was winning by a lot, and now we're coming back, and that was the critical moment. The critical moment there was that I did one hit and then a Rasengan, right? Here I wanted to do more and do something different, but for whatever reason, I don't know what's happening. I don't think the connection is perfect or whatever, but I did make it back to about the same HP. He's got a little bit more right now. But as you can see there, he just wasted all my subs and got, it looks like leg advantage, right, at the end. It's a pretty clear sign of leg advantage where he instantly wastes all my subs, and I wasn't able to block, right? So I think most people can see that, most people can agree on that, but we're going to try our best here to come back, and hopefully the connection kind of clears up, and we can fight, because that is always going to be a part of this game, and all the Storm games, right? But the thing is, back in the old games, you had a better guard, a stronger guard, and you could defend better against a lot of things, so you weren't able to notice the lag as much because there were more defensive options in the game. So here we're gonna, that Naruto support is doing a lot of work there, helping us out. But then again, this Boro support also is doing great stuff for Boro. So it's really interesting. Like, somehow Minato's like combos and grab is pretty lag resistant or lag proof, but his jitsus, unless you're like comboing and you go into jitsu, his jitsus don't really do much for you at all. So you're kind of playing a character with no jitsus, and now his grab is super nerfed. But at this point, it wasn't nerfed. We forced substitution bars there, which is great with the ultimate. In here, Tamari was doing some work, but it didn't look like she did that great. But luckily, the third hidden Naruto actually got us. So I actually, like, what's my opinion here, right, of kind of like fair play? I don't usually talk about fair play or being fair or an equal playing field or anything like that very much. I may have in the past, like 8 years ago, but ever since I came back, that's not something I really advocate for that much at all. I care about authentic and real games. Like, I want to know, like, when I fight someone, I want it to be an authentic and real experience as much as possible. And a lot of things can contribute to that not being authentic and real, right? Also, you don't see him doing the hollow step bunny hop anymore. I'm not a fan of that. I don't really like when people do that. To me, that kind of showed in the beginning of the fight that he thought he actually won that fight for real, right? And he probably... It's interesting, right? We got him with the Rasengan. A lot of people will restand there. A lot of people will... They have an opinion, and they search out the things that validate their opinion, and they ignore the things that actually are contrary to their opinion, and that would disprove their opinion. So they kind of have this blindness, right? Yeah, that whole situation there was weird. It could have been wall physics there. I'm not sure. And, I mean, everyone is kind of guilty of that, including myself. But, there's people, like a lot of people, that they just, they completely are susceptible to that, and they basically don't try to look at anyone else's opinion, and they just try to think that they're right, and they don't really want to learn, right? Or they're not interested in learning, they're not interested in goodness, they're not interested in Plato, I think, or Aristotle, one of the two, probably said that, goodness is about have the pursuit of knowledge, right? And that's the only true good in the world, right? It's pretty interesting. Something along those lines. So here, okay, let's look at this. This is the second fight. I won the first fight, and I don't know why he's standing there. Maybe he's gonna rage quit or leave, maybe he's just gonna leave the match, which he's done many times. Like, I think about 6 to 8 times he's left matches on me. We fought about 20 to 30 times. I don't remember exactly, but you might ask, why am I waiting for this guy? Normally I would never wait, but because this is a long-term opponent, even though he disrespects me and troll spins me all the time, even though he probably thinks he's a lot better than me, even though I have won about 90% or more of our fights, I think eventually, somewhere in his brain, right, he's starting to understand that he is not as good as me, right? Potentially. Because that definitely is the case. But he just doesn't have a great attitude. Personally, I don't like to play people that don't have great attitudes or anything like that. I think that's important to me. It's not just about winning and losing. It is about the experience. Like, it's so much better, like, when you play someone, right, and they have some level of mutual respect for you, right? Or at least that they're not disrespecting you. Like, when someone disrespects you and you're playing, normally in a game where there's a stable netcode, you can fight back and then kind of like, defend yourself and not allow them to disrespect you. But in this game, I think more people actually disrespect people because they literally can't fight back because of the netcode a lot of the times. The teeter-totter back and forth netcode and lag, right? So it's pretty interesting. He's trying to win here. I think he thinks that he maybe has an easy win, but we're gonna try our best to win again and get him, right? So, would you, do you wait for people? Yes or no? And do you think that people should wait for other people? Yes or no? These are top 500 fights. They're pretty interesting. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's a pretty complex thing, you know? I know he's not enjoying this right now, but it is what it is. It's interesting that he thought that that was going to save him because I usually put that tag out to ultimate to bait out the ultimate, and usually the ultimate jutsu has priority, right? So, what do we do, right? What do we do in this game? Um, it's tough. Like, I don't know. It's very possible that he does have leg disadvantage there, or it's just possible that he's just tilted. I could understand this guy. You know, there's a very high possibility that this guy is tilted, because he does lose almost all the fights he ever plays against me, and I think the ones that he did win, with the exception of maybe of one and maybe not even that one, were all fake wins. And that's not a hard thing to. That's not a hard pill to swallow, right? Like if I've won 92% of all our fights, is it that hard to believe that maybe the other 8% or 10% were fake? Now, this was amazing. Okay, this is the thing. That was a Ultimate Jitsu sub trap. And I actually, in live commentary, said, wow, that was really good. Because it was. And that's something that people don't understand about me. Like, if I lose, if I really, really lose, I always, like, I think I congratulate the other person. Usually, even if the other person is not a kind, nice person or whatever, I would still say, you know, that's skillful or whatever. But the problem that people aren't respectful, the problem that people are not, you know, don't have values or don't have high standards or values or don't have very many values at all. If they do, it's a very low end of things. That is a problem because it doesn't build a skill based community or a community with honor, right? Um, and I think that if people don't respect each other and if people don't understand each other and if people aren't working towards the truth of something, right, then it's just a really bad situation. It becomes really toxic, right? That was a really good counter. So I'm losing here, but let's see what happens. Obviously, you can see there with that counter, I did really well, and then I did the enhanced Rasengan, and then that, he's really good with that usually. So even though I tried to restand there, I believe he did the counter. He's usually really, really good, right? Like really skilled. But the problem with him is his attitude. He has a very poor attitude. He's very disrespectful, but he's someone that he has private settings, so I can't talk to him. I wish I could communicate with him. I wish I could text with him. I wish I could, like, you know, be on the mic with him, but there's no mic and he has private settings. So it is what it is, right? But, you know, 9 times out of 10, when you communicate with these people, it's not good communication, right? They hate your guts. They troll you. They do their best to bully you and cyberbully you. They purposely try to ruin your day, right? And I mean, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay at the end, but a lot of people wouldn't be. And I don't want a community that people are doing that to each other.